All these billionaires only want to go to space because guillotines need gravity to work. I have a solution to that. Rocket-assisted guillotines. Rocket-assisted guillotines. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? All right, listen. Obviously, violence is wrong. And you shouldn't even joke about Assassin's Creed. You know, I like Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity is an amazing game. Wendy Rogers, what's this? What's going on? Robert E. Lee loved our country more than Antifa, Soros, China, AOC Ilhan, and Rashida Tlaib. Oh my god. All right, chat. We're doing a PragerU react. We're doing a PragerU. We're doing PragerU react content now. It's happening. It's happening. We're reacting to this dumb fuck video. We're reacting to this dumb as fuck video. Why is everybody reacting to this right now? It's a month old. PragerU react Andy. This is some of the most pathetic content we've ever done on the stream. But apparently this is blowing up everywhere. All right, let's talk about this. The most pathetic content that we've ever done on the stream is PragerU react Andy content. But apparently it's blowing up. So we've got to deal with it.
Who was Robert E. Lee?
Why are you showing a statue?
Statues of great historical figures, like Robert E. Lee, are being torn down across America. Here are some facts.
Okay, already stopping. An extent, amount, or intensity just considerably above the normal or average. Ability, quality, or eminence considerably above the normal of average. How could you use the phrase great about a guy who lost the war? The only war he fought in, he lost. And he was also a traitor to his nation. So he was the greatest loser of all time? What are you saying he's great at?
About Lee that remind us why his statue should remain. Robert E. Lee was connected to George Washington through his father, Light Horse Harry Lee, Washington's cavalry commander, and his wife, Martha Washington's great-granddaughter. Lee's home at Arlington.
What? He was related to some guys? So you get a statue?
House was just 10 miles from Washington's Mount Vernon. Today, it is the site of Arlington National Cemetery.
Yes! They made it Arlington National Cemetery because they took it from him because he was a traitor. And to humiliate him, they buried the corpses of the war dead. The hundreds of thousands of people who died in his traitorous war, to clown him, they took his property and put the graves there. As a humiliation!
Cemetery. After 30 years of military service, Lee led U.S. Marines to crush the attempted slave rebellion by radical abolitionist John Brown.
What? Radical abolitionist? What? This is some Nazi shit. This is Nazi ass shit. John Brown was right. Every human being is equal. Slavery, what the fuck? He should have a statue because he killed people who wanted equality?
In October 1859, 21 co-conspirators had seized a federal armory, and all of them were killed or captured, including John Brown, who was tried and hanged for treason.
The fact that John Brown was tried and hanged for treason and Robert E. Lee wasn't is a stain on our nation's memory. The fact that he has a statue is mind-boggling. Robert E. Lee killed thousands of federal troops. John Brown is on the West Virginia state quarter. This is like unbelievable.
Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country, but considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since
He's such a white supremacist that he thinks that slavery was worse to the white man than the black man. How is this the quote you pick? This is Nazi ass shit. I thought it was gonna be some subtle shit, like he was really good at being a general or something. And man, he really beat McClellan's ass. But this is like, no, it's good he defeated the radical abolitionist John Brown and hanged him for treason. And also, did you notice that he thought slavery was bad because it was worse for white people? What?
black race, since blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa.
This is Nazi 1488 shit. How does it get worse than this? How does it get worse than this?
Opposing secession, Lee foresaw no greater calamity for the country than a dissolution of the Union. But when Virginia seceded in a close...
So he was a dumbass who did what he knew was wrong! And he was right that they got defeated!
vote, Lee resigned his commission. Despite offers to command Union forces, Lee opted to organize the defense of his native state. After 4 years as Confederate commander, Lee became an icon of reconciliation upon his surrender. As president of Virginia's Washington College, he favored education for freed slaves but opposed their right to vote.
Oh, thank God he opposed. Yes, you could be you won't be technically slaves, but we'll hold you in peonage, where you will have no political or civil rights. But you're not technically a slave. By the way, after 4 years as a general, he got fucking owned. And he should have been hung just like John Brown. John Brown should have been pardoned. His ass should have been hung. The fact that he was allowed to live in this country is unbelievable.
Lee died from a stroke in 1870 and is buried beneath Lee Chapel in what's now Washington and Lee University. His legendary warhorse Traveler rests in a plot nearby.
This motherfucker murdered surrendering black troops and their white commanders because they dared to put weapons in the hands of black men fighting for their own freedom. They summarily executed them. He would put salt in the wounds of his slaves when they were whipped. He was a sadistic freak, and his horse has a marked grave. His horse is treated better than millions of nameless African slaves killed in the transit from Africa. This is the most disgusting shit I've ever fucking seen. And then they have two black women as the preview for the next show. Holy shit, dude. Holy fucking shit, dude. Oh my fucking god. That was 1488 Nazi shit. Like, that was unbelievable. Cringe doesn't even begin to fit. Here, I wanted to show you something. In 1959, 3 slaves, 2 male, 1 female, fled the plantation. When they were caught, Robert E. Lee had the county constable uncurl the whip. 50 lashes for the men, 20 for the women, and to salt their wounds with brine. Wesley Norris, one of the men flogged, recalled later. In 1859, George Washington Parke Custis died, bequeathing his daughter Mary his 1,100-acre estate, Arlington, across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. The property included 196 slaves. Custis had named Lee executor. Custis's slaves claimed that on his deathbed, he had promised them their freedom upon his death, but his will said his executor could keep them in bondage as long as 5 more years. Lee freed none any earlier. Defiant slaves refused to obey orders and said they were as free as I was, Lee complained in a letter to his son, and resisted till overpowered. In other words, that Arlington thing PragerU just talked about was his wife's property. And then he broke the will and put free men back in bondage, and women and children, with torture. The fact that he still had a statue in 2020 is mind-bogglingly vile. He endorsed painful discipline as necessary for their instruction as a race. Fucking disgusting. Vile. PragerU, you fucking racist pieces of shit. That is Hitler level garbage. PragerU is disgusting. Holy crap, man. Wendy Rogers from Arizona, state senator-elect, conservative, America First, pro-Trump Republican. Robert E. Lee loved our country more than Antifa, Soros, China, AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib. This is the Republican Party, by the way. What's it going to take for Joe Biden to actually speak the truth about the motherfucking Republican Party? What is it going to take? This is some vile ass shit. This happened 2 days ago. They had a statue of Robert E. Lee in the Capitol building of the country he tried to destroy.